Right now, all eyes are on Hurricane Sandy and the eastern U.S. Significant impacts already being felt along the Florida coast, and that is just the beginning. Millions of you from Florida to Maine and into even Canada need to be on alert. Watches and warnings already out for the east coast of Florida. Coming up, live reports and expert analysis that you won't find anywhere else. Our coverage of Hurricane Sandy continues right here on Day Planner.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Day Planner. I'm Vivian Brown along with Heather Tesh. Right now, high waves already battering the east coast of Florida as Sandy moves in on the Bahamas. As Sandy moves over the Bahamas, the Florida coast can expect strong onshore winds with gusts up to 40 miles an hour. And even the storm is not expected to directly hit the Florida coast. Those strong winds will cause dangerous boating and surf conditions. You can see this cruise ship actually just waiting in the wings, actually braving the choppy waters. And we will definitely keep you updated on Sandy. It is our top story. The National Hurricane Center has released its latest advisory now. This is as of 2 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock, I'm sorry, this morning. And we're talking about the winds of 105 miles an hour. Its pressure 964 millibars. It is moving north at 16 miles an hour. So it's moving north, and that means it's getting closer to the lower 48. We're keeping you ahead of the latest information right here in the studio, but our coverage also includes team coverage from the field. Both Mike Seidel and Storm Tracker Jim Cantori will be reporting from Singer Island, Florida. That's near the West Palm Beach area throughout the day. And we begin with our hurricane specialist, Carl Parker. Carl, again, southeast Florida will be perhaps one of the first areas hit over the lower 48.
Yeah, we're going to get some very strong winds and a lot of wave action and some coastal flooding over the next couple of days, some beach erosion along the east coast of Florida, and that will then extend up into the Carolinas, depending on exactly where the storm goes. And that has yet to be resolved, and we're going to take a look at that in a moment. Here is the high-resolution satellite picture. I want to show you the structure of the storm. You see this big arm, big band coming around here and into Hispaniola. So while it started raining yesterday, it is still raining there in Haiti. That is not good news at all. And we'll focus in on the core of the storm. The strongest wind now is coming into the southeastern part of the Bahamas. That's Crooked Island right there. This is Long Island. There's Cat Island. These are the areas that are going to be in for the worst weather over the next several hours as the storm continues northward. And some of the outermost bands, the fringe effects of the storm, are now getting into South Florida. There's a look at the radar picture. You see this is mostly lighter rain, but some embedded thunder there. The winds have been gusting generally between 20 and 30 miles per hour, but we expect those winds to increase to potentially tropical storm force, at least in gusts tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll see those winds turning around from the northeast more to the north and along the coast, and very strong winds are possible anywhere from, say, West Palm Beach up to the Space Coast. That's where winds could gust to 50 and possibly in thunderstorms even 60 miles per hour. But the real business end of the storm is going to be offshore for Florida. Now, here's a look at the area of tropical storm force winds. Notice how the area of winds, we call that the wind field, really expands dramatically between today and going into Sunday, and that's a big part of why we're so concerned about the impacts in the northeast. Here are the waves, by the way. The wave height's getting up to about 6 to 9 feet through the Bahamas today. Some areas seeing 9-foot wave heights, that reaching over into Florida tomorrow and then extending up into areas just south of the Carolinas going on into Saturday. So here's the forecast track from the Hurricane Center. The model's in good agreement about the storm turning north and then northeast, moving north and then turning northeast, I should say, and then hanging a left. Now, the big question is where exactly is it going to move in? But it's getting harder and harder to avoid very serious impacts across a major metropolitan area. And this storm, because it will have a very large wind field and won't be moving terribly quickly, has the potential to knock out power for millions and millions of people. Consider that a lot of the trees here in the mid-Atlantic region in particular still have their leaves. That increases the surface area and the susceptibility of these trees to being knocked over by strong wind. So many people, tens of millions in fact, could be in the dark from this storm. So it's a very serious situation, and we'll have more on this coming up in our tropical update. Want to go now over to Mike Seidel, and he's been tracking the storm in Singer Island. Looks like the seas are beginning to get a little bit more agitated there, yes?
Yes, Yes, and the rain has picked up a little bit right now. We're getting some horizontal blowing of the rainfall, but look behind me. Visibility dropping off in the distance. I don't know if you can see it at home, but it's real fuzzy as you look out over the Atlantic off to the south and east, and that's looking to the direction of the storm. Well, off to the south and southeast. We've seen several ships coming in. A cruise ship come in. We had a merchant ship, and then a big yacht, which was trying to get in. It was bobbing up and down, finally got into the port there at West Palm Beach over the past couple of hours. So they're getting into safety. Just talked to the folks here at the hotel, and they're probably going to move these pool chairs and these cabanas to higher ground, because with each successive high tide, the water will be higher. Next one's at dinner time tonight, then breakfast time tomorrow morning. So a brush by here on the east coast of Florida with some wind and some rain. Gusts maybe 50, 60, maybe some sporadic power outages, but nobody here is boarding up. They've pulled in anything that can be blown around, like pool furniture and chairs up on the balconies. That's the latest tether. We're going to watch and wait for the worst of it tonight and tomorrow, and then things will calm down Saturday and Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. We will check in, of course, with you and everyone else as we continue through this day, and we certainly want to fill you in more on the impacts, of course, Florida, as well as what we'll be seeing into the Northeast. Now, here's the effects for you, Florida. Gusty winds and rain, large waves, and then a very high rip current risk. As far as the Northeast, we're going to have more on those impacts coming up when we return. Stick around as we continue to cover Sandy.